Peace, and infinite blessings, my beautiful people. I hope you are staying happy and healthy and whole and well. And this is another Rona reflection. So I wanted to really put back out into the ether something that I have not ever really seen anyone talk about. But I think it's important as far as helping with our perspective with everything that's going on right now. Black people, melanated Black people, all right? The people who have done the legwork for this country, for this world, all right? The people who are the chosen special people who are, the source of creativity, the source of light and love, and the source of compassion and sharing and empathy, just the kind-hearted, beautiful, popping ass beings that we are the one, all right? We are Neo, all right? We are the people who are really guiding everything. Everyone is watching us to see what we're going to do next. We're the source of power for this planet, literally. So with that being said, when it comes to what's going on right now, we have to always remember that we are living inside of a double matrix, right? And the way that the matrix exists, there's two separate worlds that are existing at the same time. And the way those worlds affects us as Black people is a lot different than how it affects other people, right? So you have to understand that if you as a melanated being are thinking and existing and experiencing this world from the perspective of the others, your brain is not programmed correctly. Right? Like you have to really shift your perspective and your viewpoint and how you're seeing everything that's happening around you. So some might say, oh my gosh, there's this deadly virus that's coming out that all people are going to die from. And it's like, not really, nah, that's not really, that's not what's happening, and if you're governing yourself according to the fear that's being put out, again, as a Black person, as a melanated being, you're doing yourself a disservice. So you always have to think twice about what's being said to you, how it's being said to you, and how you respond to these things as a Black person. So, my sister Rosella and many other beings have said, this is a time for us to just relax. And our ancestors have given us that honor, that respect, because we have always been working and going 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 and not being compensated for it properly. We don't even get the proper credit. Our shit's getting plagiarized all the goddamn time. So we as a people have to know that the things that affect other communities and other people are not always our problem. And it's not always something that we have to even be a part of. It's something that we have to be aware of. We have to know that it exists. But we have to continue to do the work that we have to do over here for our people, for ourselves, And so for me personally, it's like I don't view this shit the same way, So I invited a Black man over to my house for tea so we could build and we could talk. And he said, yeah, when we don't die. When we're not at risk of dying. I said, at risk of dying of what? Like, what are you talking? What risk of dying do you have coming to my house and drink tea? Like, what are you talking about? And talk, And he was like, Corona. And I'm like, nah, that's not accurate. Like, that's not an accurate thing to say, and we have to be careful of the words that we're saying, the way that we are, really casting these spells out onto ourselves. Like, if you are really out here thinking that you're going to die from coronavirus, you are not right. You're not well in your mind. You're not going to die from coronavirus. People who have coronavirus haven't even died from coronavirus. All right. So let's be for real. Like, we have to really look at things for truth. And automatically you should know that any information that's being given to you through social media, through the freaking television, through any media source or whatever, anything that comes from Caucasians, Europeans, non-melanated people, you should automatically assume they are lying. You should automatically assume that it's not 100% truthful. Period. When have anything they have said to us as melanated people been truthful? It never has. Like, we're starting to get some truth. Like, shout out to them saying that UFOs actually exist, which we already knew. Unidentified flying objects, we've been on that. So you should automatically assume you're being tricked, lied to, and deceived. Period. Because you are. That's the name of the realm that we live in. You are always being tricked, being deceived, and being lied to. The information is the number one resource of this time space that we are in right now. And even Obama said on freaking David Letterman's show on Netflix that information is the one thing that is really not distributed evenly. It's not. The same information, the same conversations that's happening up in the CDC and up in these other entities are not happening in the hood. They're not giving us that information for us to really know how to navigate, because they don't want us to really know how to navigate. But you have to want to actually know how to navigate, and that means tapping into you and using this space to really connect with the ancestors, really connect with your spirit guides, really connect to yourself in a healthy way so that you can know what to do next. Because again, nothing that we have ever known is ever going to be the same, so everybody's waiting on life to go back to normal according to when they say, but they're basing it off of their economy and what they need. They're not basing it off what you need. They're not preparing things so that you can go back to living life in a healthy way. This time has created trauma that we don't even know how we're going to have to heal it. We don't even know the effects of what this is happening to the minds of our people, minds of our kids. Like, we are community-based people. We need to be around each other. We need to help each other. We need hugs. We need touch. We need love. Like, these things are a part of what a healthy human being needs. So to be removed from what you need for months, we don't know what kind of damage is being done to the physical body, to the temple. And that's why you really supposed to be tapping into your relationships and really working on yourself and really making sure that you're recalibrating your internal self so that when outside does open again, when you step back into the world, you're stepping in a more powerful space, in a more, like, you're able to really endure whatever is going to come next, because another wave of this shit is going to come. Something else is going to happen. Something else is going to happen after that. Something else is going to happen after that. It's a continuous cycle, because that machine only knows pain. That machine only knows heartache and hardship, and it's disgusting. And they will continue to suck the fear and the life out of you as long as you give them that energy. So if you really see yourself as a sovereign being, if you as a melanated person really see yourself as God, you have to start thinking and feeling and experiencing this realm for yourself. And if you don't make decisions that make you happy, if you don't make choices that are literally in alignment with you and your vision and your path, and you're still governing that shit off of the American dream or off of, visions of wealth. I mean, visions of wealth are great, but I'm saying according to that status and that matrix, you are not in a correct space, and you really have to recalibrate your mind. If you have no idea how to do that, hit me up. Hit me up, because we can have these conversations and we can really do the work and really help you to shift out of that thinking and shift truly. I'm not talking about, wearing the costume of what it looks like. I'm saying authentically existing as the sovereign being that you have the right to be. All right. Like, you deserve to be able to think and feel and live and breathe for yourself. Right. That's just what you were born here to do. But if you are still giving away that power to entities that have no concern about your well-being, period, like, they keep you alive just enough to keep making them money, if that's the people that you were still looking for as far as direction on what to do with your life, you are fucking up big time. All right. Like, if you're literally sitting like, I wonder when they're going to open the outside. Bruh, like, even when they do, that means that there's another trick that's going to be in place. Like, that's just what it is. So again, remember, everything that is going on right now, like, you as your own, especially if you are melanated, you have to really think for yourself. And if you have trouble thinking for yourself, if you have trouble with overthinking, if you don't know how to really just sit and be grounded in the moment of right now, hit me up. If you don't feel comfortable hitting me up, then you need to hit somebody else up who is tapped in. I specifically request that you hit up a Black woman. who is really tapped in, who you can see through her eyes, you can see through her energy, you can feel through her aura that she is transcended into some different shit. Somebody who's really connected to the ancestral realm, someone who's really doing the work. You have to connect to these people. I'm not saying there are no black men. If you find a black man that you trust and you feel intuitively guided to work with, hit him up as well. But you cannot live the rest of your existence in this time space connected and plugged in 100% into that shit, because that shit is literally invested in you dying. And even when you die, they still gonna rape you for your organs and everything else. You feel me? Like, they're not concerned about your well-being. They're not gonna give you accurate information. They literally, no, like, they're not. And if you really, like I said, are governing your life, your choices in your life, the possibilities of your life, if you're doing that according to that, you got it fucked up. I'm telling you right now, your life is going to consistently live in a cycle of suffering and misery, because that is what the nature of that is. That's just what it is, and it's especially because, like, I mean, whatever, they just love and are invested in melanated people not reaching the full version of themselves. They don't want you to know who you are, but they know who you are. And that's why they're creating these spaces to make sure you don't really tap in for real. You have a responsibility to tap in for real. So if you want to do that work, if you really are like, damn, Mufasa, like, damn, okay, it's like, what you talking about? Hit me up. Let's have a conversation. I've often put my phone number out there for people. I put my email out there for people. You can slide in my DMs. I am totally open, and I have a responsibility to you to give you any information that is inside of my being that you feel can help you. You just got to ask the right questions, and I promise you I will give you the answers, because that's what we have to do for each other so that we can actually transcend into a higher dimension, a higher way of existing and living, because this ain't it. This is not it. And we know it's not it. At our core, we know this is not it. And we're just not sure what it is. But our minds are so tuned to the future and trying to create this perfect future that we never actually take care of what's happening right now in the present moment. And that it sometimes just means what we're eating, who we're around, what we're doing. We don't take care of the present moment. But the present moment is all you have. That's it. You don't have the future. The present moment is what you have. And if you tend to that, then you can get, then the future will automatically come. The future is always coming, but right now is always leaving. So you have to really take time to really do the work in the here and now, so that the future that you're thinking of can manifest organically. But if you're not tuned in, and you're tuned into something else that's distracting you from the here and now, distracting you from the belief that you can actually do work here and now, then you're doing yourself a disservice. That's it. I love you so much. In case you have not heard today, dear soul, please stay woke up out these streets, y'all. Holla.